if we just bought some of that AT&T stock when it was pennies for a purchase, you know, look where we'd be today. But that was 20 years of looking behind us and insight that we gained from that, but that doesn't make you any money.
What have you thrown away or gotten rid of in your life that you wish you hadn't?
Oh. I can't remember of throwing anything away that later on I wished I had not discarded it.
Or gotten rid of, sold, whatever.
That's a tough question for me because one of the things that we learned growing up in the Depression years was that you never discarded something if you could use it. And I guess that became a rule of thumb in my life, and so I can't remember.
Yeah, but like right now, wouldn't you love to have that DeSoto with the rumble seat in the garage?
Yeah, but we sold that.
Well,
we
yeah,
didn't give it away.
No, it's what it said. What have you thrown away or gotten rid of? Selling is getting rid of something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of nice to have that DeSoto with the rumble seat still in your garage.
Oh my, would that ever?
Well, there's your answer right there.
It would certainly be much more, worth much more than $360 we paid for it.
Well, there's your answer right there.
It's worth thousands of dollars now.
What is one thing that you've held on to that is important to you and why?
I think the one thing that I've held on to that's probably most important is the memory of the great experiences that we've had as a family. And
well, think about the question in this vein. No, it's something physical. Like we just talked about what, you know, if you would still have the DeSoto in the garage, that'd be fantastic. But what's something physical that you've held on to that's important to you and why?
I think I hang on to clothing too long because I've got shirts and suits as well that I probably should have gotten rid of years ago.
So is there any junk that you've held on to, or would you consider some of the clothing you've held on to junk?
Well, when we lived in Spring Grove, we had collected a lot of junk. And and it was just boards and things of that nature that we would never use, but we held on to them because we might. And when we went to move, we had 2 dump trucks full of stuff that we sent to the garbage heap. So we held on to a lot of things over the years, that is. 35 years.
All right. Here's an interesting question. I like this question. You have 4 grandchildren.
Yes.
If you could write a message, just a little message, to Hannah, put it in a time capsule, which she would open up 20 years from now, which means Hannah would be 40 years old. If you could write a message to Hannah, what would you say?
My message to her would be twofold. The one is, Hannah, please continue to be yourself. The second one is, Hannah, grow and develop the skills that you have, because they are many. good luck.
All right.
My prayers are with you.
Same question for Leah.
For Leah, it would be the same thing. She's unique, and that uniqueness is a real strength that she has, and I'm not sure that she ever quite looks at it that way. But secondly, again, grow and develop the skills that you have, because you do have many.
All right, how about Garrett? Stay away from cars.
Stay away from what?
Cars.
Stay away from anything that runs.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Garrett, I'm convinced that the time that you spent growing up with your dad is simply one of the best investments that you've made of your life. Please continue it.
All right, and how about Paige?
Paige is entirely different than Garrett. I think her dad recognizes that, and I believe that he has tried to build her strength as well. And I would love to see her grow up and become all that she may and has the ability to become.
All right. If I'm, this is the question I asked Mom, and she said soup and sandwich. If a meteor is going to hit the planet tomorrow, everything's going to be destroyed. Everybody and everything. But tonight, all restaurants are open, and you can have one last meal. It could be anything you want because everybody's just going to have a good time and all restaurants are open. What would your last meal be before the planet is destroyed tomorrow? It doesn't matter if it's going to give you indigestion. It doesn't matter if it has too much
It's
salt.
gonna give me a heart attack.
It doesn't matter. You could have whatever you wanted for one more meal.
I wouldn't.
Mom looked at me and said, "Well, I'm not hungry." And I said, "That's not the point of the question.
That's not the point.
It's to figure out what your favorite food is, and if you could have one last meal."
Yeah, I think one of the things that Cheryl and I both enjoyed when we were first married, didn't have any children yet at all, we would go out to dinner and we would have a full course meal and eat every drop of it, thoroughly enjoy it. And I remember that one of the places we went specialized in steak, and they were so tender you could cut them with a fork, as a matter of fact. And that was a full course meal, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that that's what we'd probably do again if we had a choice.
What?
That the other thing that.
Well, but what's the meal? What are you eating?
We're eating. We start with a salad.
Okay.
And baked potato and a vegetable and a huge chunk of steak and then pie and ice cream after that.
What kind of pie?
Oh, cherry pie, of course.
Okay. So this is why I don't understand why this is such a difficult question. Mom couldn't answer it, you know. She just said, I'm not hungry. And then she said, well, okay, soup and salad. I said, well, what kind of soup? She goes, I don't know. I said, well, you know, if someone asked me that question, you know, if someone asked me that question, I would say, my last meal, I want my mom's porcupine balls, and I want my mom's barbecued pork chops with my mom's potato salad and macaroni salad, all right? I want my mom's pickled eggs, and I want hickory nut cake for dessert.
Yep.
That would be my last meal.
Yep.
Okay? To me, that's an easy question. And that's the exact food that I would want right there. If I could have any wish, that's it.
Well,
and Mom says, oh, soup and salad. I said, well, you know, this is it. The world's going to end tomorrow. You can fill your belly till you puke with your favorite foods from whenever. And she couldn't answer it.
well, the first thing I was thinking about was now, if I could have a dinner, a threshing dinner prepared by Shirley's mother Mary, and one prepared by my mother as well, and if I could eat all that food.
Well, that's what it is. It's an imaginary question. It doesn't matter how much food it is. I mean, besides all that, I would also say I would want 3 dozen steamed clams. I would want 2 dozen mussels in a red sauce. I want escargot bourguignon.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have the table it's my last meal. And I would eat until I puked. Because it doesn't matter.
Well,
tomorrow, everything's going to be gone, you know?
Then I don't feel badly because I couldn't imagine how big a table it would take for
Well, yeah, my list would go on and on.
for my mother-in-law and my mother to put their dinners on one table, but that would be
Exactly.
what I desired.
You know?
That'd top everything. There's no question about that.
Remember how good the steamed clams and the red sauce at Apenino were? Remember that?
My.
How good that was? That would be on my list as well.
And the marinara sauce
That would be on my list as well.
on the veal cutlet.
Right.
Well,
That would be on my list. I would also have some Indian food from, you know, the Indian place. I would have a little plate of sushi. My list would be huge, but I could tell you exactly what it is and exactly where it's from.
Sure.
You know? That would be an easy question for me. Yeah? All right. Mom couldn't answer this at all either. If you could listen to one last song, yeah, world's gonna end, and you're gonna put your one last favorite song, and just listen to it. Do you have a song that you've always said, you know what, that I really like that song?
That's interesting because if it was a last song that I would listen to, it would probably be a religious song, and probably the Old Rugged Cross.
There you go. Great song. It's a good song.
Because that's always been one of my favorite religious songs since I went to the summer Bible school. 5 and 6 years old at the time.
All right, one more sentence. One more question. Complete this sentence. Right? As if people were telling someone about you, and that someone didn't know you, but they were telling someone about you. and they started off the sentence with he was...
He was a boy who grew up on a farm and became one of the top educators in the country and taught school at every grade level, including postdoctoral courses. I would add one thing to that.
You keep adding sentences. What would you add?
That he was a counselor and therapist for 50-some years. And did all this very effectively. Did somebody fall?